Good evening, everyone. This is Stacy T, and this is Cultivating Conversations. Welcome, everyone. So, as you can see, it's a different setup because I pre-recorded this. Okay. I got a lot going on here. Um, I'm pre-recording on Friday morning because I have an event on Friday night, and I did not want to cancel because I have something that I really wanted to talk about. So, welcome to Cultivating Conversations. My name is Stacey T. I probably should have said all of this before I got on, right? But it's literally 8:15 in the morning, and I wanted to record this, hit it and quit it, before it gets really uh, loud in here. But actually, I'm not here by myself because there's some people here and they are loud. So please forgive the background noise, but I'm in my office. So there are other offices outside of my office, and people are here because it's Friday, and I guess people just wanted to be at work on Friday early. But anyway, welcome to Cultivating Conversations. I am your host, Stacey T. Cultivating Conversations is a podcast where we have thought-provoking dialogue about life, love, the pursuit of happiness, and everything in between. And this is episode 23 of season 3. So I'm really excited about coming to the end of season 3. I need a break, and it'll allow me time to just regroup and see, what I can do for season 4, which I'm really excited about. So anyway, tonight's episode, which is being recorded in the morning, tonight's episode is about how to avoid an empty marriage. So I know that there are some that would be like, she got married? No, I didn't. But when I do, it's probably going to be the same thing. Where ain't nobody going to know because humans are whatever. But no, I'm not married. But I was married once, for those who do not know me. And let me just say, if you are coming on for the first time, welcome. I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. You can either go on Facebook and join my Facebook page, or you can go onto my YouTube and join my channel. For those of you who are returning, thank you as always for your continued support. And please, I don't know if you can hear the background noise, so if you can, just please, I'm sorry. So I've been married before, but and I've been married before, and this past Saturday, so I'll tell you where this topic came from. This past Saturday, I had the privilege to minister at a women's event, and shout out to Predestined for Purpose Ministries in Yonkers, New York. And I was talking about my new book, Singlish, that's out, and just talking about being single. And after I finished ministering, the Pastor Monique Ross, got up, and I mean, she broke this thing down so much that it just set the whole place ablaze. And she talked about, and I can not do any justice to how she so eloquently and anointingly, I know that's not a word, but whatever, anointingly talked about it. But she talked about how, basically, how as women, we are so, particularly as women, we are so, I was going to say thirsty, but we are so concerned about wanting to be married that we do not focus on our goals, not realizing that when you get married, for the most part, the space that you share that was once all yours without any type of sharing or having, to get permission and talk to and any compromise. It's all yours. Once you get married, you share that space with your spouse. And um, a lot of married women, because they did not pursue their dreams and their goals except to be married, um, they end up for years feeling empty in their marriage, because especially in the church, a lot of who you are is centered around your husband, and this is what is taught. You support your husband at the and the especially if he's in ministry, and there is this insatiable, ridiculous, and to me, my opinion, and I'll say that I don't care, foolish desire to be a preacher's wife and the pastor's wife and all of this other garbage, and you don't even know who you are except for that. And that is the title that you aspire to, and outside of that, you have nothing. And then there are women who go years and decades being married and not fulfilling their desires, when in essence we should be, as single women, especially being young, we should be taking care of our goals and what we want to do, so that when we get married, we already have a presence of who we are, and we're walking into the marriage with identity and not looking for a man, or in church settings for the church to define who we are. So that's what sparked this topic. This topic is not necessarily for married women, but I do encourage you to watch. But this is really still for singles, because that's where my heart is. That's where my heart is, because these again are the conversations that we do not have. We do not have. We don't go in depth with single people, especially single women, and really talk to them, and single young girls, and talk to them about having your own identity before you get married, knowing who you are. When we talk about what you bring to the table, it's really more. It is more than just, well, I have an 850 credit score and I have my own bank account and I'm debt free and I know how to cook. Who are you? Because all of those things are things that you do, but that's not who you are. Who are you? Okay. So this is what this episode is about. It's really about cultivating and putting that seed in your heart to shift your focus from, I want to be married, 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 to what are the things that I am supposed to do right now in this present time that is going to prepare me for the spouse. Okay. Now I know there are a lot of women who they've done so much and then they're like, okay, I don't have the spouse. I can't speak to that. I can speak to my own personal my own personal pedigree or whatever. When I got married, I had already had my degree. I had my bank accounts. I had my passport. I had traveled, traveled, not the world, but I had traveled, like gone on vacations and things like that. So I had culture. Why there's so many people so loud? I had culture and I had all of those things to 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 bring to the table, in addition to knowing how to be a wife and things like that. But there were things that I didn't even know that I was supposed to accomplish. So fast forward to the second time that I was going to get married. I had already had a book out. I had already had my business established for 7 years at the time. Um, and so I had things, but there were still things that I needed to do, things that God had for me to do. And if I had gotten married when I wanted to get married, when I thought I should be getting married, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. Singlish would not be out because I would not be single. And even though my heart is always going to be with singles, even after I get married again, I would not have been able to do singlish. I would not be in school pursuing my master's degree. Um, I know that it would not have happened, or it would have been hard for it to happen. So that is a different thing. And I always wondered, like, okay, when is it going to happen? Like, just wondered, like, okay, I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm doing it by myself and things like that. And the Lord literally gave me instruction and told me like what's to come and what it is that I need to do. So for those who feel like you're accomplished for whatever reason, it's not happening yet. There's still some things that God wants to work in you or work out of you. And the work out of you doesn't necessarily mean that there are bad things that he needs to get rid of so that you don't make a makeshift of your marriage. There's place for that, and that may be the case, but it could also be that there are still things in you that needs to get out that you can only do while you are single. Okay, so what are one of the ways that you can avoid having an empty marriage and being unfulfilled as an individual? One, knowing and searching for your identity. There's nothing worse than you not knowing who you are and your spouse not knowing who you are, and then you finally discovering who you are. And once you discover who you are and all that you are to do, the person that you are currently with may not fit who you are or who you are becoming. And there's a danger in that. And that happens with both men and women. And whereas women would more than likely stick and stay, a lot of men won't because they're not being true to themselves. And this is how, or there's just a friction, right? There's a friction in there's a friction and there's an imbalance in the marriage because now you ever hear people talk about like, I think I married a stranger, because you probably did, because you didn't know who they were and they didn't know who they were. And then y'all are both discovering them at the same time. And now you realize it's not a good fit. Understanding your identity and understanding who you are is going to give you clearer vision as to the type of person you want to be with, the type of person you deserve, the type of person that is going to be able to understand what your calling is, what you were put on the earth to do, the work, the businesses that you're building. They're going to be able to understand that. And then you can say to them, like, this is who I am, this is what I do. And it's not from a standpoint of this is who I am and that's it. It's like just understanding who I am. This is what I come with. I'm a preacher and I travel and I write books. I'm an entrepreneur, so my hours are kind of crazy, but I will make time for you. But just understanding that I do have a high demand on my life. Can you handle that? Having those conversations on the onset, or having those conversations with yourself, so then when you meet somebody and you know that he ain't fitting in the mold and the grand scheme of who I am. And I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about just who he is. If he doesn't understand, okay, I'll use myself an example. If he doesn't understand where I am as far as being a minister and the work that I do, then there's going to be friction. Even if he is saved, because being saved, and I'm gonna continue to say this, being saved means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. Being saved, having a collar, being in a leadership position in church means absolutely nothing. Because there are people, even men, dare I say, that do not know who they are. And they are just as unmanly, I'm watching my words, or male-ish, a guy off the street. that may look like he doesn't fit the bill because he doesn't have the church jargon and things of that nature, but he loves the Lord. And when you have your identity, you know what that looks like. And you can see the forest from the trees, and you can see, even if he's hucking a shying, yeah, but you not right. So excuse me, you're not right. So this is not gonna mix. Yes, we both are in the church sector and all of that, but you ain't right. So this can't be. It can be somebody off the street that looks like they're off the street, doesn't, but loves God and has a relationship with God. But you won't know that unless you have your own identity and know what you can handle and know what you deserve. So that's the first thing, because then you will walk in and there's no man or no woman, but particularly for women, there's no man that is creating his version of who you are. Now, it is the man's job to perfect and beautify who you are. Right? It is his job, because the scripture talks about how, the man is supposed to take care of his woman and treat her like a flower. And it just talks about the analogy between him and Christ church, and how, Christ built church and created the church, and, just the bride and the bridegroom. So the groom is to take care of the bride. The husband does that as well. So it's not like I come with whom I am, and I don't need no help from you because I know I am. Now that's out of pocket. That's out of pocket. However, the other extreme is you not knowing who you are at all, and then him trying to create who he wants you to be that's going to benefit him. And there are some men that they will help to bring that out of the woman. That's great. But then when you start to discover yourself, because at the end of the day, you're not a robot, right? So a man telling you how he envisions you, but when you look in the mirror, do you see what he has created in you? Do you see that? Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to see more than that. And then what do you do with that? But when you see that beforehand, then his revision or his polishing of what is already created, because you know who you are, will create something even more glorious and even more beautiful, and just a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second way to avoid an empty marriage is knowing what your purpose is. What is your purpose? What will you set on the earth to do? And a lot of times there is this notion or this air, especially in the church, about power couples, power couples, power couples. The man and the woman, they preach, and we both preachers, we power couples. And that's a beautiful thing, because marriage is beautiful. Marriage in the sight of God is beautiful. And anytime you see a couple that is kingdom and working in the kingdom, it's beautiful. But the problem comes is when we are so focused and laser focused on that, so that we can say, I'm a part of the power couple. Yes, my husband is the pastor, and he's the minister, and he does this, and I do that, this and the third. And outside of that, you have no idea what you want to do. No idea. And then you start to peel back the layers, because, in the beginning, it's wonderful, but then things can become rote, things can become routine. And then there's not a person that doesn't have a burning desire to do something, And it behooves us to figure out what that something is. When you are younger, now there are people who got married young, and they're married 50, 60 years, and they have done wonderful things. So this is not a one size fit all thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you are coveting that type of lifestyle. You're coveting the type of lifestyle. You're looking at other couples, you're looking at pastors and first ladies, and you're saying, I want that. I want that. And I'm going to look for the man that's going to give me that or help me build that, instead of looking at yourself and saying, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing in life before the marriage comes, before I meet that person. What is it that I'm supposed to be accomplishing? Because once you get into your marriage, it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder. As women, men are to enhance their wives, but wives are there. I was about to say we are there. I'm not a wife yet. Well, I am a wife, but I'm not somebody's wife yet. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Thank you, Lord. That's the other thing. Okay, hopefully I get back to that. But let me finish my thought. No, let me get to that. The other way of not feeling empty is knowing you are a wife in the first place. Because when you know you are a wife, because the word says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor, you would carry yourself as a wife instead of carrying yourself as looking to be somebody else's wife. You will carry yourself as a wife instead of looking and being laser focused on being somebody else's wife. No, you're supposed to find me. I'm the good thing. I'm the good thing. So because I am a wife, there are things that I need to do as a woman in my wife's stature to prepare myself to be somebody's wife. Because the thing is, the question, I am a wife. The question is, whose wife am I? And while I'm waiting for that to be discovered, I'm doing everything that I need to do so that when I am presented to him, not only am I presented to him lips, tips, and what does it say? Lips, hips, and fingertips. It's not only about that. What else do you have? What else do you have? And away with the notion of women who are accomplished are not desirable. Women who are accomplished and wear it on their sleeve, like, maybe not desirable. But what man doesn't want a woman who's accomplished? What man doesn't want a woman who has done some things with her life? Because then he knows if she's doing things with her life, then she's only going to enhance who I am as a man and enhance our relationship in marriage. Because when I have her on my arm, she's more than arm candy. She comes with pedigree. She comes with intelligence. She comes with ideas. She comes with innovation. Because as wives, as women, we are created to multiply. We are created to give birth. And it's not just naturally. We are created. Anything that a man gives you, you should be able to multiply. Okay? A man bring home groceries. We've heard this. A man brings home groceries. You create a meal. A man gives you a house. You create a home. He gives you money. You should be creating wealth, not bills. Should be creating wealth. But in order to be able to create those things, you have to know how to create. And one of the ways of knowing to create is to hone into that while you are single, so that when you get married, it's only up from here. It's only up from here. We're not sitting and trying to figure out. And then the other thing is, when you are single and you have all of these things, when you meet a guy, a gentleman, and men as well, when you meet a person that you are interested in, you can ask questions like, so what is your vision? What is it that you want to do? Like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? Those are questions that should be asked so that you all can see how you fit. And then you see how you can assist that person in their dreams and their goals. Because again, once you are married, your space to create and do things does not belong to you alone. It's for both of you to share. And because it's for both of you to share, you won't have the time that you had when you were single to do those things. And you don't want to end up years or decades like, I feel unfulfilled in my marriage. Because the thing is probably not that you feel unfulfilled in your marriage, you feel unfulfilled in yourself, and you're frustrated because of your marriage. It may not be that you are unfulfilled in your marriage, you are unfulfilled in yourself, which results in you being frustrated and unfulfilled in your marriage. So I just wanted to drop that nugget. I am going to sign off before this lovely door opens and my colleague comes in and is like, "Ugh." But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I know this was short, but I wanted to hit it and quit it. So just wanted to remind you that my book is still out, and it is created such a buzz. It's a whole movement. Singlish is out now, available at imstacyt.com, Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, Water Springs Publishing House. You can also come to 187 Martine Avenue and pick up your copy if you are in the tri-state area. I will autograph it for you and take pictures and do all of those great things. And I'm also available to come and speak to book clubs, groups, churches, single ministries, all of those things. I want to see us healed and whole, living our best life and being single and being proud of it and waiting well. Waiting well. Okay, I want to see us waiting well. If you just so happen to be married and you're tuning in, thank you for tuning in. If you're still here, thank you for watching. I mean, it's only 26 minutes, so 30 minutes by the time I finish talking. But thank you. And I hope that, something was sparked in you to revisit whatever dreams and goals that you may have, even while you're married, because it doesn't mean that you can't pursue them. And we're going to always be creating and always be reinventing ourselves, even in marriage. But we don't want to be discovering who we are in it. We need to know that before we even consider entertaining anybody. Okay. Next, tomorrow, first of all, April is gone and 2022 is really, really, yeah, um, is going quickly. So Mocha Girls Read, I am chatting it up with them at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think there may have been a slight change in the platform. I don't think it is. I'm hoping that it's not. So just look out for a revised flyer to go out, but it's still happening at 4 p.m. So if you want more conversation about all things single, if you want to know more about what Singlish is about, come join me at 4 p.m. on tomorrow. So until then, happy end of April. I hope that you are accomplishing and smashing those goals, looking and revisiting your vision boards, and make sure that your vision currently matches with who you are and what you want to do. But above all, I hope that you are taking this information, understanding what I'm saying, digesting it, and being courageous enough to put the quest to be boot up down and really focus on navigating and exploring who you are. Because the more that we know about ourselves, the more we can avoid divorce and infidelity and all of those ugly things that come with just not knowing who we are and not um, marrying people who don't know who they are. We don't want to do that. So anyway, this is Stacey T signing off. So yeah, until next week. Love you guys. As always, say, drink your water, mind your business, check on your strong friends. Be careful because COVID is still out here. But enjoy life. Enjoy life and accomplish and smash as many goals as you can while you are single, so that you would have something to present to the one that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And together, y'all can be a force to be reckoned with. All right. Until next week, I will see you all later.